Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Banter in the Box. Episode 71. COVID is a bitch, man. Yet COVID has ripped through FFFL HQ this week, which is why this edition of Banter in the Box is coming to you slightly later than normal. But we've turned a corner. We are on the mend. Still testing positive, which is the ball ache. But the worst of COVID is behind us. And in game week 71, in the midst of this international break, the final international break of the season, just before we enter the title running, Di Maloney's still top of the table, bidding to become the third woman in Family Fantasy Football League history to win the FFFL title and the first woman to win the league in 21 years. Donna Benwell, way back in 2001, was the last woman to win the league. 5 managers have gone into the transfer market in this international break. It's still time. The deadline, as always, is midday on Friday. One of those managers buying 3 tactical gambits. Number 1 rated manager in the Family Fantasy Football League, Arden Diamonds, having a shocker of a season by his standards. He purchased a wildcard tactical gambit, which allowed him to make multiple transfers in a single week. He also purchased an Oi's Mine, which allowed him to have a player even though he already belonged to another team. And he became the second manager in history to spend £2 million on a Tommy Turncoat tactical gambit, which allowed him to change his nominated club. In this week's edition of Banter in the Box, we have your normal game week 28 winners and losers, a wall of shame, another edition, semi-final preview, FFFL Cup this weekend, and a manager of the season update. So your game week 28 winners, take a bow. Lyndon's Lovely's manager Jo Hoxby. She climbed 2 places to 16th in the table, which is the highest she's been since the opening week of the season. It's turning into a good season for Jo. Take a bow also. Tyler Bounds, Sweet Foden Line FC manager. He climbed a place to 13th in the table, which is the highest he's been since game week 22. Take a bow also. Napoli manager Lee Poulter. It's turning into a great season for him. He also climbed 2 places up to the heady heights of 9th. And that's the highest he's been since game week 17. And the biggest game week 28 winner, take a bow, debut manager James Holmes. Better than the Diamonds. Turns out he is. Stayed 3rd in the Family Fantasy Football League table, picking up a 3rd weekly win of the season. So they are your game week 28 winners. And your game week 28 losers, hide your head in shame. Arden Diamonds manager Steve Holmes dropped another place down to 7th. No wonder he spent so much money on tactical gambits this week. You have to go back to game week 12 for the last time Steve Holmes was as low as 7th in the Family Fantasy Football League table. Hide your head in shame also. Ted and Sand Juniors manager Ian Sands dropped a place to 18th in the league. And in all of the seasons, which is at least 10, that Ian has been in the Family Fantasy Football League, he has never, ever before been as low as 18th in the league table. It's turning into a nightmare season for Ian Sands. Hide your head in shame also. Fingering home Rangers manager Ryan Leslie Perrin. He was the lowest scorers this week, next to the other game week 28 loser, AFC manager Ray Poulter. Both Ryan and Ray scored 1 point in game week 28. And with the exception of Ryan, the other 3 on that list were the game week 27 losers. So they really are on a bad run. They are your game week 28 winners and losers. Now, believe it or not, we've had another addition to the Wall of Shame. Those reprobates there all appeared on the Wall of Shame earlier on in the season, and a couple of weeks ago, the Mad Hatter himself appeared on the Wall of Shame for making an invalid transfer. And this week, well, it can happen to the best of us. Arden Diamonds manager Steve Holmes completed a nightmare week when he tried to make a transfer, but his team added up to more than his available transfer budget. So he appears on the Wall of Shame, the 14th member on the Wall of Shame this season. Surely there won't be any more entrants, will there? Now, this coming weekend, being the first full Premier League fixture weekend of April, means it's the FFFL Cup semi-final. And of the 4 semi-finalists, only one of them have ever won the cup before. The first semi-final sees debut manager Luck Where's the K Williams bidding to win the Family Fantasy Football League Cup in his debut season, which I don't think has ever happened before. Or no, actually, I think I'm lying. I think Mad Hatter did it in his debut season. But anyway, it will still be quite a feat if he does it. But he's got to get past Gobi Desert Canoe Club, Pops Hoxby, the FFFL Cup specialist. He's appeared in 5 FFFL Cups. A winner in 2000, he won it again in 2002, was in the final in 2003 but lost it, was back in the final in 2009 when he won it, and was last in the final in 2010 when he lost it. 5 finals, 3 wins, 2 defeats. The only person to appear in more FFFL Cup finals than Pops is, well, yours truly. But if Gobi Desert Canoe Club can win the cup this season, he will hold the record for the most ever FFFL Cup wins with 4. Currently, he shares that record with yours truly. We've both won it 3 times. Pops against Luck Where's the K Williams. My prediction, a Pops victory. And the other FFFL Cup semi-final sees Hatch United manager Neil Hatch, currently second in the table, there and thereabouts in the manager of the season table. The treble is still not out of the question, never been done before. Hatch United, a 3 times FFFL League champion, has never won the cup. In fact, he's only reached the final once before, way back in 2009, where he was beaten by Mops Hoxby. Neil is facing surprise package Nicola's Anelka manager Nicola Irvin. Never ever been this far in the FFFL Cup. It's been an heroic effort for the relegation strugglers to reach the semi-finals. But my prediction, Neil Hatch to see Nicola off fairly comfortably to set up a titanic Pops versus Neil FFFL Cup final. We will see. Manager of the season update. Who the fuck is that? It's been running for weeks. It was worth 10 manager of the season points and only 2 managers had a go. Benny United manager Mark Benwell thought that it was a picture of No Happy Endings manager Di Maloney and Lyndon's Lovelies manager Joe Hoxby. That mark was an incorrect guess, and Hatch United manager Neil Hatch thought that it was a picture of Racing 1895 manager John Tustin and Lyndon's Lovelies manager Joe Hoxby. And obviously, Neil, that also was an incorrect guess. So the manager of the season table looks like this. Well, the top of the manager of the season table looks like this. There's a whole heap of managers beneath this. James Holmes climbs to joint 9th with his manager of the season point for being a game week 28 winner. Steve Holmes drops to joint 4th after losing a point for being a game week 28 loser. And Napoli manager Lee Poulter climbs to joint 4th after he was a game week 28 winner. But it is still Megan Hoxley Chamberlain out in front, 5 points clear. Now that can dramatically change this week, because the who the fuck is that is rolling over, and it is worth 12 manager of the season points. 2 current Family Fantasy Football League managers pictured there. If you can tell me both managers, you will get 12 manager of the season points. However, if you get one of those managers correct this week, discounting guesses that you've had in previous weeks. If you guess one of those managers correct this week, you'll get 6 Manager of the Season points for guessing one manager. 12 points if you get them both. 6 points if you get one. And if nobody gets any right this week, it's not going to roll over. I'm just going to reveal who the picture is of, and then we'll come up with a new Manager of the Season question next week, because I'm bored with it now. We can't roll it over for another week. So this is your last chance to guess who the fuck is that. Remember, only one guess per week per manager, and you've got just over a week because it won't be until next Friday, the 8th of April, till I do the next Banter in the Box update. So that is episode 71 of Banter in the Box. Good luck to those of you in the FFFL Cup. A reminder, the Family Fantasy Football League Presentation Awards takes place, as says there, and in every edition of Banter in the Box, it's always the final slide, on the 4th of June, a Saturday, in the Stadia of Legends 23 in Braintree, Essex. It should already be on your calendar, but if it's not, make sure you make a note. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.